Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Warp, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast where we do unasked for audio commentaries of Star Trek episodes. My name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
I'm Drugs.
And I'm Mike.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a long couple of weeks since we've met. This will be happening in January, but for us, we've just entered December. So we just had our Thanksgiving holiday. COVID is out of control again. We're all going under lockdown once more. But
be safe, guys. Be safe.
Way to bring down the room, right?
No. Hey.
President, so
Should we introduce our
be happy
special
about
guest?
that.
Should we introduce our special guest, Drugs?
Hey, boys
He
and
did.
girls.
He came in. He said he was drunk.
Glad to be here.
Welcome back,
in,
Drugs. We're happy to have you on the show
No,
again.
drugs are here. You know, I've been much misaligned these last many decades, but I'm glad that the air is being cleared and the light is being shown in this corner
Yeah.
now.
Here, it doesn't seem very clear to me.
Drugs says,
I have
traffic
questions
lights.
about why drugs sounds the way
Yeah,
it
me
does.
too. You're having a rough day.
Drugs' lungs have had a rough
Drugs,
Hey.
drugs doesn't sound like he
Yeah.
won the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did. We definitely did, guys. We made it.
Drugs-
We're taking a
drugs
lot
has
out
to
of
do
drugs,
itself.
but
I feel like drugs should sound like Matthew McConaughey or Woody Harrelson or somebody like that. Like that's what
Sometimes
drugs.
all right.
Yeah, that's what drugs sounds like.
Hey, guys.
I don't know. I
Alright.
think all drugs together might sound a little erratic. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true. They actually, if you took all the drugs, it might just cancel each other out. Right? You just be normal.
Yeah, I mean, Nina Simone, right? Deep
How
voice.
Keith Richards has lasted all these years. He just takes all the drugs.
Takes all the drugs. It's a status.
Don't do that, kids, unless you are meant to do that, because a lot of people are not meant to do that. So be careful with that
If you're
advice.
not men.
Not an endorsement.
No, I do not take all the drugs. I definitely do not take all the drugs. You know.
Yeah.
Oof. Well,
Some people, you literally huff paint one time, it's over.
People were making jokes about how it was amazing that Keith Richards was still alive like 30 years ago, and he's still alive.
Still
Yeah.
alive.
Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne is another one.
Oh, let's start the
Yeah,
show.
let's start the show.
Oh, yeah. What are we
Today
gonna
we're
do?
watching Star Trek: The Next Generation,
Yeah.
season 2, episode 17, Samaritan, Snare, and I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Punch, yeah. Your pronunciation or speaking of it was so strange, Sean.
My
Samaritan.
speaking of it,
Yeah, your
Samaritan, Snare.
snare. I don't
It's sort
know,
of
you
a
just-
How
weird
would you
combination of words.
Samaritan snare.
I'm sorry.
If I-
What did I
No,
say?
no, okay.
I think it was
I
fine.
was just curious if you had just a different interpretation of the title, or it's just. Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
If Warped was a folk band, I think I would probably play the Samaritan Snare. I think I could just about cover it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite drum. Samaritan Snare.
Not a full Samaritan set.
Every time you
just
hit
the
it, a
snare.
little bit of money pops out the bottom.
I would take the Jews harp, the little twang.
Jew harp? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, no, there's an actual instrument called the
Yes.
Jew harp, I believe. Yeah, it's cool. It sounds really cool. I think it's used in spaghetti westerns, maybe a little
like
bit.
mouth harp. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Is that about the twang thing?
The twang thing. Yes. I would do it during the thong song.
They're usually very country music songs.
Yeah.
All right, so Picard's pissed. This is where we learn about Picard's fake heart in this episode.
What?
That Picard has a artificial heart because his heart was destroyed.
Oh, good
Apple.
Lord! This is the one where Picard and Wesley are on the
Yes, it's a very
shuttlecraft
Wesley,
together the whole
yes.
time.
It's Wesley and Picard in a shuttlecraft talking about life.
You triggered
Oh,
some
boy.
memories in Matt.
Okay.
Is
It's-
What's funny about this is that like Picard famously can't stand Wesley, and they have to spend the whole episode on the shuttlecraft together.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, now I know why.
he's already fuming.
Yeah, he's pissed already that he's got to do this. The doctor, because Dr. Pulaski even tells him, "I could do the thing here," but he doesn't want to do it. He's embarrassed by the fact that he has a fake heart.
Did you see
general.
Picard just called Wesley Ensign?
Yeah. Well, that's what he is. He's an ensign.
Yeah, but he didn't
Good
refer to him
collar.
as like Wesley or Ensign Wesley. It was very formal, Ensign.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't like
Generally
Wesley.
uses the people's titles even when he's talking. Doesn't call him Will.
Oh. Hmm.
He called him
Yeah.
number one.
He calls him number one.
This is the ornery Picard, 100%. This whole episode.
Yeah. He's in a cranky mood this week.
But this is him. But him in a way, he sort of softens on Wesley in the
Over the course of their time on the shuttlecraft.
being trapped in a shuttlecraft for several hours.
Imagine being
generally-
trapped in a shuttlecraft for 14 hours with an irritating 15-year-old boy.
Where some see irritating, some see sensitive, and oh so earnest. I thought it was cute.
Oh my
He's
God,
a
May, were
deeply
you in
earnest.
love?
There's
with
no
Wesley?
question about it.
He is a very earnest boy. I think.
He was just gonna get to that inner Picard nougat.
And all
and
he really
it was
wants
great to
is
watch.
for Jean-Luc to love him. Like, that's
Yes.
all he wants. And
All
is for
any
Jean-
child wants.
So this lady's back.
Yeah.
She gets
But
another
this
one.
is the last episode she'll be in.
Is
Aw.
this the
So
girl
don't
that had
get-
the thing for Geordi?
Don't get too attached.
She's got great
Yeah.
hair.
Does she
Yeah,
like
that's
Geordi?
some
Is that-
product.
Yeah, I think this was a plan to sort of create a girlfriend for Jordy, but then they shit canned it because
Oh.
she never comes back again after this
Because they
episode.
had zero chemistry with each other.
Yeah,
Geordi only cares about robots and engines.
and Jordy gets pretty messed up in this episode.
Oh.
He
If you were doing this show now, you would have Geordi fall in love with Data. Because
What?
Geordi
Ooh.
loves
Whoa.
robots. Geordi loves machines.
yeah, he
So
loves
you would
machines.
have,
That's
the
cool.
romantic relationship would be between Geordi and Data if you were doing this show these days.
Matt, where can I sign
It's
up
funny
for
how
this
many
newsletter?
characters you would have just assumed would be gay if this. Because
Well,
we always talked
okay.
about how Wesley would be gay.
Or a
in
girl.
episode
I think
was
Wesley
that-
maybe would be a girl, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
that-
sure.
For sure.
Teenage
That
girl.
seems
Because she was-
Well, that
he
was
was
the original
originally-
plan. Sure.
The character was originally supposed to be a girl, and then
That's
they thought
for sure.
that they thought that
They were
boys,
like, no girls watch the show. So
yeah, they were like teenage boys won't like it. Teenage boys won't like. I don't know why they would think a teenage boy wouldn't like to watch a smart teenage girl on a sci-fi show, but they thought that teenage boys would more strongly identify with if Wesley was a boy, so they switched it. I think he was supposed to be Leslie, and they changed it to Wesley.
That's what you've said in the past. Yeah.
Leslie
I don't
could
know why
actually
they
work.
just didn't cape it.
yeah, Leslie could work both ways.
Mhm. Both
Ameri-
Reboot.
America's finest actor, Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Give
Yeah,
us
you don't
some
see too
stats.
many male Leslies anymore. That
Not
that
anymore.
was kind of-
It's fallen out of fashion.
it's falling out of vogue for sure.
So we are watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, season 2, episode 17, Samaritan Snare. With Picard away for routine surgery, the Enterprise responds to an apparent distress call from a Pac-led vessel. Aaron, you did not watch this week's episode, I understand, because you thought we
What
were
happened
watching
there?
something else.
I thought we were doing the movie. I forgot where we were at.
It's
Oh,
all
okay.
right. It's all right. It's
That's all right.
What do you
busy
think
season.
the IMDb rating of this is?
Well, apparently not that great.
It's not a great episode. I
gonna
would
go
I would
slow.
Speak
say
from
that.
your heart, though.
I'm gonna say 4.9.
Wow.
Oh, it's not
Oh,
that bad.
Wow, really dragging it through the mud.
Funsies.
Oh.
It's like a 6.3.
7.
5.7.
Ooh, 6.4.
6.6.
Yeah, I priced it right at you.
Right in the sweet spot.
The
average.
Solid D.
May, did you watch Star Trek when you were young?
You know, I was aware of it,
Uh-huh.
and of what I did see,
That's
I saw Whoopi and I saw Picard. So if like someone was to ask me like, "Oh, who's your favorite Star Trek captain?" I would just say Picard because that was the one that was on.
Yeah, that
But,
was the one of all of our childhoods, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember seeing Wesley and being like, "Oh, I really like him. He's."
Nah, Wesley wasn't on my radar. Only Picard.
Gotcha.
Only Patrick.
Geordi was the only one on my radar, I think, because of Reading Rainbow.
Oh yeah, him too.
He's the only character I really remember.
Well, and he has the visor, so
Yeah.
it's sort of
Yeah.
there's a visual cue. You know, you
He's
see the
very
visor.
recognizable.
That's
Yeah.
an iconic thing.
Yeah.
So here we have the pack leads.
So,
This is
Speaking
of the bad guys.
Reading Rainbow. Does everybody know about the push to get LeVar Burton to take over as the host of Jeopardy? Do people know? Have people heard about that?
I have not heard of that.
I'm for that.
Yeah, there was a big
That's
thing
cool.
there's been a big push on Twitter, and
There was a petition sent around too that got a bunch of people found it.
He'd be great.
and he's into the idea. Like he's been retweeting people when people say, "Oh, LeVar Burton should be the host of Jeopardy." And like, so he's into the idea, and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
Between this show and Reading Rainbow, like he has a lot of sort of like nerd education learning type cred.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the perfect person to host a show like that. I think it's a great choice.
They're having what's his name? The guy who won lots of times in a row. What's his name? I can't remember.
Ken something.
Yeah.
Ken he's going to host for a while. I saw that.
Ew, why?
I don't know. That's the plan for at least. It's not permanent.
Interim.
That's the interim. That's the interim choice. This guy here, this actor who's playing this fat, crazy-looking guy,
I'm furious about the news about Ken Jennings.
Well, he's done it before. He's been a guest host before, so I think he's just ready to roll. I'm pretty sure he's guested like random one-offs. No, am I wrong?
I don't know.
It's been. I'm not a Jeopardy expert, so I couldn't speak to that.
I started watching it again just recently after Alex died, and it's still really good. I just had sort of fallen out of the habit of watching it over the years, but I felt like I should watch it now that it's he's
it's one of those things like
wrapping it up. So I kind of wanted to watch the last episodes with him. Yeah. His last episode is going to be on Christmas Day, which kind of is, I don't know how that worked out, but that's how it worked out.
Are they going to broadcast on Christmas Day? I guess they are.
Yeah, it's going to be on
that's
Christmas
the last
Day.
episode.
That is
kind of feel like you have to watch that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it for sure.
Yeah, I have to watch it.
A little sad, bittersweet, and touching at the same time.
Here we go. Here's Picard and Wesley floating through the
doing his
star.
best impression of a mannequin.
He's reading.
Yeah, he's trying to ignore Wesley.
Yes, he's doing everything.
Oh, that's why he brought those books. I was like, what are those books? I'm not going to talk to this guy.
You know anybody see the Accidental Tourist?
Yeah, sure.
There's a classic thing about his big thing when you're flying is to always have a book.
Yeah.
So that people that won't talk to you so strangers on the flight won't feel like they can talk to you.
Yeah. That's a great movie. That's a great book too. I read the book it was based on back in the day.
Back when William Hurt was a movie star.
He was a big movie star.
That was a weird time.
Isn't he still acting?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call him a movie. He was like a big star back then.
Sure.
Like he would
won an Oscar.
Carry movies. Like when was the last time you did William Hurt was the star of a film?
Yeah.
Apparently he plays the general in the Avengers movies, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
They've sort of gone away from it, but he's supposed to be, Betsy Ross's father. He's supposed to be
Betsy Ross,
who is Bruce Banner's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Because he initially played the character in The Incredible Hulk.
Well, Picard's just like, just fly the ship, Wesley. Stop trying to make chat with me. I'm not interested.
Poor Wesley.
He just wants to be loved.
Yeah.
That's what we all want.
And he's really lonely right now because his mom's not even on this ship.
Yeah.
And apparently there are no other people his age on the ship because you've never seen him with a friend.
What are these Oompa
He spends
Loompas?
all his time hanging around 40-year-old men.
And And really, how much is there to do while you're piloting a shuttlecraft in deep space? It's not
much. That's why
Yeah,
he keeps
no. I don't think you really have to have your hands on the wheel too much. It kind of flies itself for the most part. So
I feel like I could fly a shuttlecraft if I had to. It's doesn't look that hard.
Well,
Space is like 99.99% empty. It'd be really hard.
He's just doing busy work the whole time.
I don't know. Space is complicated. It's like 3 dimensions. People already get into accidents.
3 dimensions under like driving.
There are so many accidents in 2-dimensional driving. So imagine just the additional dimension that people have to consider with. Yeah. It's.
But there's no road to stay on. You just going straight.
Just don't hit the
Troy,
stuff in.
See, this is interesting because when Riker's in charge, he doesn't ask Troy's opinion before he sends Geordi. Picard would always ask Troy what she thought about a situation before doing anything.
Oh, so is she pissed because
nobody
asked her
look,
opinion?
You didn't. This is. I don't sense like these people are worried. They are not. They're dangerous.
Well, it's not Riker's fault. She wasn't even on the bridge.
Well,
she
had to call her.
The ship.
And also,
like
Worf
it's impossible to call people.
Yeah, Worf had misgivings too, and he just summarily ignored them.
This is why Riker is number 1 and not captain.
That's true.
Yeah.
Worf's like, I told you, you son of a bitch. So there's one interesting acting. One of the guys who plays one of the pack lead, the main one, is Christopher Collins, who does the voice of Cobra Commander on the old cartoon show, and also Starscream on the Transformers cartoon, which is the exact same voice. So,
drugs.
Okay, which one was the interesting one?
You don't find that interesting?
I was just kidding. It was kind of interesting.
All right, who was that?
That was that guy.
That might have been the drug speaking.
That was all the drugs.
Yeah. Drugs was doing his Cobra Commander impression.
Man, Picard is so ornery.
Yes.
Wesley has no boundaries. Wesley's like, tell me all about your like personal emotional feelings about connected to your heart problems. Wesley needs to learn to stay in his lane.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Do you, Wesley? I say, do you, Wesley?
I mean, it works. Picard does end up telling him, but
yeah. Sometimes people need a little encouragement to come out their shells. These guys are just so wacky looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
interesting choice.
Evil Tweedledee Tweedledum.
Mm-hmm.
Like space ogres.
Space ogres?
Yeah.
Think
about it.
Yeah.
They're very like one-liner. Like we collect stuff. Need things
they present
to go.
as very dumb.
Yeah.
But they're not very dumb, as they say. We are smart.
Well, they are dumb. They just have this one scam that they pull.
Yeah.
But they are pretty dumb because they have to steal their shit from other people because they don't know how to do anything.
Advance themselves, yeah.
Man,
they just have this
smart
one
enough
trick.
to do that.
Yeah.
They're the Donald Trump of the galaxy.
Oh.
Too soon.
See what?
Yeah.
This is probably would air sometime in January.
Still too
This
soon.
episode will air on January 22nd.
So he'll be dragged out of the White House by that point in time.
Please don't jinx it.
There's nothing to jinx at this point in time.
That's not necessarily jinx. That's more of a most likely scenario.
I think it is possible to jinx all of American democracy. So let's just.
I think it is. I want to pray and believe.
You guys have PTSD, man. You're just like so shell shocked from the last 4 years.
So apparently the 800th episode of Star Trek, like total, if you add them all up from the very beginning, the 800th episode is the episode of Discovery that will air on December 31st.
Huh.
That will be the 800th total episode of Star Trek. This podcast, by the way, this episode is episode number 152.
Oh,
So
wow.
just to give you a sense of how much further there is to go.
Well, you know what? Yeah. The Voyager doesn't complain about the billions of miles it's got to travel, does it?
Right.
Yeah, actually, they
Actually, they tend to,
how far away they were.
But they do it anyways.
They don't have much
They
choice,
can
but we
complain
do.
about it, but they do it anyways.
Really?
Yeah. Do
Right? If you guys were going to quit, you would have quit a long time ago. So don't start talking about quitting now. You don't go 150
Yeah,
something
Aaron
then go, you know what? We've been doing
I've
this
had
too
one
long.
put out the door this whole time. That's my whole rant.
Yeah,
Aaron
what-
used to ask about when we were going to be done, like 2 years ago.
And I'm just here because I can't get away from it, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt you
We all
embraced
know the
it.
second that we go back to recording live in front of each other, May's out. Like,
Yeah,
nope.
sorry. Wait, I have to drive somewhere and physically be not in my pajamas.
All of a sudden, her love for
Beast.
Star Trek is done.
No, and you know what? I might still keep watching it because of the Patrick Stewart thing, and honestly, because of the Lower Decks factor. It makes me. I understand that show more when I watch this show. So, you're welcome.
That's sort of like knowing that the
Particularly, are
past
you
you.
thinking?
What was that, Sean?
Who in particular are you thinking? I'm trying to figure out.
The universe.
Who was thanking you? I should
Oh,
say.
The verse.
Oh!
Reading Rainbow.
Hi, Jordy.
Jordy, he has a rough week.
Yeah. He's got to go on to host Jeopardy. Don't you dare kill him.
Look at Data being somewhat tense about this.
Not only is this a Wesley episode, it's also a Geordi episode. It's really a 1-2 punch of the worst. If Pulaski was involved somehow, it'd be a real.
Well, she sort of is. She's part of the Picard storyline.
Yeah,
too.
she's the boss. She,
yeah. She shows
She
up
tells
at
him
the
how
end.
it is, and then it ends up being how it is.
Matt, you don't like when Geordi's involved?
I just think Geordi's better when Geordi's always better when he's paired up with Data and they're doing something sort of together as a
he's
duo.
the B character to Data's A storyline is great.
Although at least it's not a romance plot, so he
That
doesn't
is
have
true.
to.
And Jordy
doesn't have
really
to be
doesn't
all-
have much of a plot. He just gets fucked up most of them. Like they just keep attacking him.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Well, I think that's cool because he would normally just be on the in the engine room, right, just fixing things. Now he gets to go out and like get a little combat action in, you know.
Well, he's just fixing things somewhere else.
That's true.
Now, here's the question.
Now, why is Picard being all nice to him now? Being like,
Yeah,
here, have a
it's-
sandwich.
Because he
He's
feels
got
bad
these
about yelling at him
sandwiches,
earlier.
right? Now, did he request that they be made like that in the replicator, or do you think he cuts the crusts off himself?
No. The replicator handles all that.
Yeah.
So he asked specifically for it to have the crust cut off.
It knows
And-
how he
and,
likes
uh,
his
he's-
sandwiches.
He's just like
He set up a
Picard,
macro.
sandwich program 32.
Yeah,
it's like
he doesn't have
he's got a
to-
keyboard shortcut set up for that.
Do you think Picard's mother would deliver him those sandwiches and have him cut the crust off himself? No,
No.
that is not Picard's mother. Oh
That's
no,
classic British cucumber sandwich technique right there.
fingers.
Yeah, I think his French mama cut his crust off the
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Mama.
It's croissant sandwiches.
I know. His croissant sandwiches as
Yep.
made available at Burger King.
Now I want to see a young Picard show where he's like a little toddler, but he still has Patrick Stewart's head.
He's still bald.
Yes.
So they could do like
Completely bald 5-year-old.
that movie Clifford, where Martin Short plays a 10-year-old boy, and they just have just to have Patrick Stewart play himself as a 5-year-old.
Yeah, and use like CGI like they used in Lord
No,
of the
don't use. Just keep him the same size.
Okay.
Just
okay. I like it.
have everybody look at him in his eyes as he's standing. It's like that. What was it on John Hodgman's Dead Pilot about his life? It was like him when he was 13, but he was going to play himself as a 13-year-old now. But like interact, but everybody else was going to be age appropriate. So like when he would go to school, all of his friends would be played by 13-year-old kids.
That's like Penn is.
Yeah, Penn 15. Yeah.
And it's
So they can get away with it. They look so young when they're dressed up. I don't know if John Hodgman could do that because he's like legit taller than a 13-year-old.
I think that might be part of the comedy of it, the humor. I don't know.
Right. Well, they said the idea was funny until he started thinking about how his romantic subplots with him and a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. That's why I always
but didn't he say that the joke was going to be that when he met the girl that his character was supposed to fall in love with, she was also going to be played by a 40-year-old woman.
That's right. You're right.
That everyone else
was
would
their
see
fix for it.
All right, so that's less creepy.
A little less creepy.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah, because now when I see Big, I'm like, this would never play if it was a female.
Big is rough
like,
when
the guy.
in context, yes.
That's funny. I haven't watched it in many, many years.
In that movie.
Yeah,
that's not even.
I'm saying. Imagine if it was a dude and a
opposite.
girl get Big. I think it wouldn't be so charming.
I don't know. That's sort of how I felt like my first time was
because it's like.
Wait. Everything stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Let's just go back to what Min just said.
What?
Go ahead again, Min.
That's how I sort of felt my first time was, because I was a little older. You know, I didn't have sex until I was like college or so, like late middle college. So, you know, a little older, but my experience, my emotional level,
significantly older than you?
No, not significantly, but a little older, yeah.
But not like 30 years.
No. But you know, okay, so that part may be different. But I felt like, you know, like my body was older, but my emotion was just young and my maturity was young. So I felt
like a 10-year-old boy on the inside.
Yeah.
Even though you were a 20-year-old man on the outside.
20-ish, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Giving it to the 20-something-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or rather, woman, as you should say.
Sure. Yes.
When you were doing your walk of shame the next day, did the suit start getting bigger on your body as you
Well,
yeah. Min used to be 6.5 feet tall, and now look at him.
Yikes. Well, you know, we just I'm happy for what I have now.
Sure.
A big suit.
Mm-hmm.
one oversized David Byrne-esque suit. Right.
Yeah. Love it.
Has anybody watched that David Byrne thing that's on Netflix, the American Utopia concert that they filmed?
I tried to watch some of it.
Oh, yeah, I think we maybe talked about this.
I started to watch it, but got interrupted. I want to watch it. I just want to, like, play the music loud, and, like, I probably need to play it in the podcast range to really enjoy it. Maybe away from...
I haven't watched it, but I want to. It's one of those things.
So I think I'll enjoy it.
How long is it?
I think it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
I mean,
it'd probably be funner just to listen to, not necessarily. I don't know if you necessarily need to watch it.
Okay. Some cool things visually on stage though sometimes. So.
Yeah, I just got like 20 minutes in, and I was like, okay, all of these songs sound the same, so I'll watch this in pieces.
It sounds like it should have been like a mini series of like 4 or 5 30-minute episodes.
Yeah, or because like in actual musicals, there's variety. There's the ballads, there's the upbeats, and then this was just all the
Is it like a
stage.
musical or is it just a concert?
It's a concert, but he also like talks. As
Yeah.
Is there
as
a
kind of
story or it's just
It's more like philosophical
just
type of shit.
David Burke philosophizing?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like I would love it. I'll watch it and let you know. I would watch that over like a standard musical, like definitely. That's just a taste thing, I think.
What was the band David Byrne was in again? Sorry, it's
Heads.
totally at the tip of my mind, but
Talking Heads.
Talking Heads. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I was not very aware of who the Talking Heads were when I was younger, but for some reason, it was like the main question that came up in order to get the next level of Carmen Sandiego.
That's interesting.
And you needed to have the booklet, like you could either know the answer or have the booklet where, it had the answers. And I think because my mom had gotten it from her school, she didn't also have the booklet. So it was kind of like a bootlegged Carmen Sandiego. So I always could only play like the first level over and over and over again. I said I didn't have the damn booklet.
And there was no internet.
And I didn't know who the fuck the Talking Heads were.
Yeah. I watched True Stories like on repeat when I was like 7 or whatever. I just was like an early Talking Heads fan. It just happened to be something around the house, and I just watched that movie like more times than I can say. Over and over and over.
Did you love
so
listening
we're saying
to the band
David
as well?
Byrne has touched all our lives, pretty much.
Aaron, did you love Talking Heads, the band, as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not like an expert, but I know a lot of their music. It was certainly popular in college too. So I think I would enjoy it, just playing it on a good speaker system and just like taking the time and just getting into the mode, not being distracted. I think I would enjoy it for sure. I would know a lot of the music, but if you've never seen True Story, that actually has a storyline. I mean, it's a movie, and it's John Goodman's one of his first films. I think it might be the first.
Really?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I don't think I've seen it. I should check it out.
Yeah, it's really weird and cool.
Man, they keep messing Jordy up.
Yeah, no, they fucked Jordy up.
Damn.
I think they allude to the fact that they keep phaser stunning him, and it's like it's probably going to have a real bad effect on him if they keep doing that to him. Like, oh, I thought stunning somebody with a phaser was pretty safe, but apparently it's not good if you do it all the time.
It's probably like everything else, like all things in moderation.
Yeah, phase in moderation.
You don't want to.
You don't
want to over phase.
Do you think there's like a sort of druggy setting to a phaser, where it gets you high but doesn't knock you out?
No, but I think
probably
like
people in the future. There's probably people in the future who are like S&M types who are into like getting phased, getting shot with a phaser. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It's like autoerotic phasers.
Oh man.
I think they do like couples things. They're like, I want you to phase me and then have sex with me. While I'm unconscious.
I need you to be my
They call that a Bill Cosby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
Ooh, Sean.
Jesus Christ, you
people.
God damn.
Keep saying
what do you think's gonna happen to Bill? What is Bill Cosby gonna come into your dreams or something?
He might.
What am I jinxing
like Freddy
now?
Not jinxing anything. It's just like, we don't need the reminder. Jeez.
Get out of my dreams, Bill Cosby, and into my pudding.
Damn, Jacob's on fire.
Yes.
I love it, Jacob.
There's the other actor. Does anybody recognize the name Daniel Benzali?
I know who that guy is.
That's who's playing the surgeon in this.
Yep.
The guy on the right, the older guy.
Yeah, the guy on the right.
I don't care how good your technology is. Red is not a good color.
Yeah, what kind of fucked up David Cronenberg bullshit is that surgery office going on?
Yeah,
right
good point. Very.
Like, what the hell is this?
Well,
Queen of Hearts, Alice in Wonderland.
It's very fucking Jacob's Ladder in there. Scary as shit. Freaked out.
My interpretation is that surgery in Star Trek doesn't bleed anymore, so they feel like they want to. It's like
The
a
blood needs to be represented.
Yeah.
It's like a
They need
cocky,
to-
like over, like
Mhm.
confidence move. Like
they want to feel rooted to their past, where like doctors had blood on their outfit.
they're all squeamish, so it's like if they see blood, they they can't handle it. So it's better they just not know.
So if it splashes on them, it just blends in.
Mhm. A lot of good theories.
Yeah, they don't
out
do laundry as often this way.
Well, if the Star Trek budget had anything to say
Right?
about it, you're right.
Right? Remember the dry cleaning?
Yep.
Through the roof.
Oh, look, Screeny's got a dongle.
I
Jeez.
got a bit of a screeny.
Oh
Not a
my
very good
God.
screeny.
Yeah, that's a probe right there.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere on Twitter or Facebook or something today about some company that's got like a bed like that. That has like it's like a Star Trek medical bed that's got like a control panel that kind of shifts over you.
Okay.
That somebody
Aaron
built
has-
as like for funsies, or
I have no idea if they're like trying to sell it or what the
Are
plan
they like
is.
diagnosing you? Does it like?
Yeah,
let
I'm
you
not sure
know
if
your
it actually
life works?
works in some way. I didn't read it's Facebook, so you don't really.
well,
wanna link
we
that
did
thing.
talk one time about how there was this company. It was part of a correction corner, I think. There was this company in Hawaii that makes bio beds that can read.
But that had
your,
like a
you know-
blanket, right, that they laid over you that read
yeah,
your
it had
vitals.
some kind of thing that laid over the top of you that was able to sort of read your vital functions.
This had like an actual like horseshoe U-shaped thing that sort
But
of.
was it something somebody made as a prop for
I don't
funsies? Or
fucking
was it
know,
meant to
dude.
work?
Why do I need to have details?
You have a
Then it's
Wikipedia.
not so
and-
much
We're like
a
pissing
story
right now.
as it is just a thing.
I didn't say it was a story. I said it was something I saw on Facebook. Go look it up on Facebook yourself.
Gee.
It's an
All the
immediate
stuff on my Facebook
disqualifier.
is cat related. It's like cat hamster wheels and like
Yeah.
that's the feed I'm getting. I don't
You stay
get
on the light side of Facebook.
Star Trek bed probes.
What are you going looking for on the
Yeah,
internet,
yeah.
Sean?
I go looking for Star Trek bed probes.
Erin sounded really worried when she heard about the idea of that. Like, oh, why would someone want to buy that? It's disturbing.
Doesn't sound comfy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but don't the Japanese sleep on like tatami mats? And have you ever tried that? That is not comfortable. No one's ever tried to. They're like
Never watched
hard
Japanese
read.
versus,
No
It's like
idea what you're
thing.
talking about.
Oh, really? Oh,
Do people? I don't think people still do that. Do they?
maybe
Min?
not. Maybe not because they're like those are not comfortable. I'm gonna choose like a normal Western style bed that is soft and cushy and at my sleep number.
I mean, they'll use like futons.
What is your sleep number, man?
No, you know what my sleep number is.
yeah, I think we all know.
Get out of here, drugs. I wasn't talking to you.
Well, we're inseparable now.
Well, that's true.
We all are,
You
counselor.
probably have different sleep numbers, but that's okay because that's how you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the whole point of those
The
beds.
only time I ever tried it, we were house sitting and I couldn't find a number that worked for me at all. So we basically just put it down to 0. It was basically a tatami mat. We just were like, let's just put it all the way down.
So there's an Israeli firm that developed a new type of medical imaging technology
Uh-huh.
called the Nanox Arcs, Nanox Arc, and they specifically made it look like the Star Trek medical beds,
Oh.
but it actually works.
You can
It's an,
tell
X,
that
it's, it's an X-ray machine.
Hmm.
yeah. You can tell the surgery is not going well because they put sweat on son Luke's brow, so you knew it's not going great. Like
Mm.
That guy looks like he could be a James Bond villain with his laser right there. Bond.
he was on a short-lived TV show that I really liked called Murder One.
Yeah, Murder One.
Oh yeah, I
So,
remember that show.
yeah.
Okay.
That was like when one of the
That was
first.
a really good show.
That
It
was
was a
like one of
really
the
good show.
first like non-episodic.
Yeah, the whole gimmick of the show was that
Was
that
one
whole
case the whole
season was
season.
one case that they
Oh.
followed. all the way
Yeah, it was a big. It was like acclaimed.
Like it was the second time, like after Twin Peaks, which was sort of the first to do it.
Yeah.
Then they were sort of building up, but more of a procedural. Like Twin Peaks was so bizarre, it was hard
Yeah.
to sort of.
Yeah, Murder One was a
Murder
murder.
One had more of a standard, law and order type flow to it, but it was
Had
only
a standard storyline.
right.
Yeah, there were no backwards talking.
There was no
dwarves.
supernatural shit. It was just a standard murder case.
Anyway, that was a good show.
Mm.
So this is still happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
This is
still
the
going
longest
on.
episode ever.
It's amazing when the episodes are bad how long they seem.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
they just,
It
like,
really
kinda-
does vary.
Asian
depending-
dude, right?
Asian dude.
Asian
dude.
dude.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron.
What?
Yeah.
I was listening to an episode the other day where you were talking about Grey's Anatomy, but you hadn't gotten up to the part where Alex left the show. And I was
No.
like, oh, you get up to that, we need to talk again.
I know we
because-
still need to talk. I kind of took a break, honestly, because of visiting someone in a hospital, and I needed a break from like hospital scenarios. So I've kind of put that on. But I've started watching it again, but I'm not to where Alex left
Okay,
yet.
so I'm not
But I
going to
will
take
be.
this off my...
I've resumed watching, which is probably a sign that like my mental health is better. I like to watch Grey's Anatomy after work on weekdays. Something about it, I find it works.
Endearing, warming.
Well, maybe because their problems are bigger than my work problems, but it is like a work show. I don't know. I like it when I'm by myself, but like when Philippe comes in the room, I pause it because hey, I've got to talk to him. But also, like for some reason, I don't like to like watch it with other people. At least that makes sense.
Do you cry during that show? Or
Like I have to explain stuff if people don't already know what's going on in the show. So I just like, no, well, I've been moved on that show before. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but I don't
Still
know.
going on
It's
to
my
this day.
private, like it's almost like a soap opera for me. It's like My Young and the Restless. Or
It
something.
is a soap opera. It's super intense. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to take the thing about Alex off my list of things to talk about because
Oh,
you
I'll
haven't
get
gotten
there.
to it yet.
I'm getting close.
It's
Getting
super intense this season because they're doing COVID as part of the storyline.
I
of
was
the
hoping
show,
that they would actually, because I've often think like, how would they handle it? Because it's the only medical show I really watch these days.
Yeah.
So, and I think in some
It's
ways
been
it's the
intense.
best medical show I've ever seen. So I feel like if anyone's going to get it right, it's them. So anyway,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been really good this season.
all right, I will get caught up for sure.
Speaking
But
of
it's
shows that we still watch that started in the 90s,
Right.
did anybody else watch the Saved by the Bell reboot?
Oh yeah.
On
Yeah, what do you guys
Peacock?
think? Is
It was really
different?
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really unique. Like it kind of does
It's a
honor
cool
the old
take
one,
on
but
it. Yeah, it's a cool take on it.
Okay, good. They're doing their own
It's
thing.
cool.
That's
But I'm
smart.
pissed now because those fuckers are drug dealers, and they're like, the first one's free, but after that, you gotta pay, motherfucker.
I was wondering, since it got a lot of attention, whether they would make that the paid content. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, businesses are hurting.
First
So
7
now
days are free
It's
though.
7-day free, so I'm just gonna binge it. But
Yeah.
because they're all
Oh,
on there.
I see.
Unfortunately, they're not doing the Disney Plus version where they released it 1 week at a time, so you couldn't do that.
No, that dropped the whole thing.
Did they reinterpret the whole gang, or is it like they're taking the same characters and then giving them new
Well,
actors?
the new characters are in the show.
Uh-huh.
So, like, Zach is the governor of California.
Oh,
Oh, so they're
it's like
going
a
on-
second
He's still very
generation,
healthy.
next gen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his kid, their son, goes
Is the
to
new Zach.
is the new Zach.
Ah,
His name
okay,
is
that's
Zach
cool.
Morris.
And is it actual Saved by the Bell former actors that are
Yeah,
in the
yeah, no,
Okay,
it's,
good.
yeah,
So they got
Wait, what's his name?
Mac Morris.
Mac Morris.
Mac?
Mac, M-A-C, Mac.
Oh, Mac.
Mac Morris. That's
That's terrible.
yeah.
But the premise is like it's switched because it's not just like the Bayside kids. There's a group of like poor, diverse kids that move and start taking at Bayside because their school gets closed down.
Jack Morris
Oh,
is
okay.
fucked
So
up
it's kind of like that
badly.
season of Friday Night Lights. He becomes the coach before school. Interesting.
But it's basically them making fun of like how much
Yeah.
white privilege these
Yeah,
rich
it's all
kids have.
about sort of recognizing the white privilege and all that. But yeah, so Jesse is like the counselor at the school.
And her kid is the quarterback.
Yeah, her and Slater is the head
Football
football coach. And there's like it's a great sequence in that there's this African American kid who's part of the poor kids that come to school, and Slater's like trying to get him to join the football team, and the kid kind of fucks with him, and then you're like, he's like, I should have learned about you, and in the end he tries out for the musical, and he's got like a great voice, like he does. It's just so cool, and like they just the stereotyping of this big black kid that assumed that he would want to be a football player.
Yep.
And Dustin Diamond is
Nowhere
available.
to be found.
Ooh.
Well, I'm sorry.
Believe
He's
in them,
available,
then.
not requested. I guess is the better way to put it.
Well, so I binged it. I
Oh, did you
signed up
watch
for
all
the
of
trial
it?
and I watched it that weekend of Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So they do mention him down the line, and it's like this throwaway line. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like this throwaway line to explain why he'll probably never show up.
Or show up.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Is Dustin
It's funny.
Diamond?
I've been actually rewatching Saved by the Bell
Oh damn!
because I'm listening to the Zach to the Future podcast where Mark Paul Gosselaar talks about the episodes because he's never watched them,
Oh shit!
so he's watching them basically for the first time.
That must be interesting.
It's funny. It's really interesting, and he has like the last episode he had Tiffany Thiessen on it with him, and she remembered things a lot better than he did. It was pretty funny. She was like, "Don't you remember this part?" And he's like, "No."
Is Dustin Diamond the character's name? Because that sounds like a
No,
porno
that's
name.
his name. That's the actor's name.
Oh, really?
He's Mike D from Beastie Boys' cousin or something.
Oh wow. Never knew that.
That's Mike D's real
Tacky.
name is Mike Diamond.
Oh, okay.
Tacky.
Oh, dang. Yeah, but it's pretty funny. And I think the reason why it works is because the woman who created it, used to write for 30 Rock. So it has that
She's
fast-paced,
great.
like,
Yeah.
joke
Cool.
style.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
sounds
it's first person. It's a single camera. It's not
Multicam.
the cam. So it's but like they even went to the Max, and Ed Alonzo, the magician who was Max, was on it in the pilot.
Yeah, he's
No, they went to the Max.
Yep.
it's in it.
Wow.
And they point out just how ridiculous it is. It's like,
Well, yeah, how
South
expensive
Park.
it is to eat there as much as they do. Like,
It sounds
Cool.
like a cool update of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
yeah, no, they did a good
Yeah,
job.
it works.
well, it
It's like
sounds like something I need to be watching. So I'll
Once you're done with the prestige stuff like Queen's Gambit or whatever.
yeah, I'm done with that. I'm enjoying.
Trash.
I'm savoring it.
Trash.
Are you still watching it, Jacob? Jake?
I haven't picked it back up yet.
He was watching it like the pilot, and I sat down to watch it, and I was like, I'm good. After about 30 minutes, I was like, cool. She's learning chess.
Was it just dry?
For me, it was. For me, it moved a little too slow.
Oh, I'm
But I hear
enjoying
it gets better. I don't know. I also don't enjoy like The Crown, so like,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah. Different taste.
yeah. Yeah, but I gobbled up that Saved by the Bell.
Cool. That's really
I'm
good.
with you,
Congrats.
May. I got no time for shit like The Crown. I gotta watch Saved by the Bell.
Well,
And you know, it's hard nowadays finding like a good hard comedy. Like
It's hard to
everything-
find trashy comedies these days.
Yeah, or just
Really?
like fun, enjoyable
That are
comedy
good.
that
like-
aren't trying to skew like dark, like traumatic shit. You know,
Well, they still
Yeah.
have those. They're just really bad. Most of them.
I mean, there's some really good ones out there. When you mention them, everyone's like, "Oh, so good," but like those shows, I can't even like binge because watching one episode is so like, hard that you don't want to watch another one right away. So, but while you watch something like Saved by the Bell, where you're just like, you get to the end, you're like, yes, I want some more of that silly, unnecessary shit.
Sure, it's a lot easier to watch. But
No, it went away.
So that ends my that's my recommendation, early recommendation from Rec Corner. Play the jingle.
Yeah.
Play the jingle, Jacob.
What are we playing?
Recommendations.
Or
hey, the episode ended.
recommendations.
She took off her blood gloves.
Yeah. That was a boss move by Pulaski to be like at the end, he wakes up and be like, I'm here, bitch. What?
I saved
I
your
bet
life.
she didn't even perform the surgery. She just showed up and did that just to fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
But she did the whole move of like taking off the
Pulling
gloves.
off.
She's like, I saved your life, and I also took something else out that didn't need to be taken out. I'll let you figure it out.
I also did some.
I also spent I put my finger up your butt.
I took
Just
something out and I put
because.
something back in
There you go. That's what
And-
it is.
that you didn't need.
Yes.
Like,
Wow,
where's
you'd
my
be a
car keys?
you'd be a fun doctor, Jacob. You know,
I gave you an extra appendix.
yeah.
You'd be a fun doctor who'd need a lot of lawyers.
Well, patients would go in with eyes wide open.
And then they come out with eyes wide shut. Hey, because there would be sexually inappropriate things happening.
Yoings. Sponsored
Well,
by
on that note,
Jello pudding.
Yeah.
Matt, tie it up.
Okay.
Tie it off.
Tie one off.
Aw, sounds so sad.
We got another
Well, if you wanna
episode.
keep talking,
We're still
that's
here.
fine. You know.
We'll do more.
No. Please. I don't care about that at all. I was distracted. I was trying to do something else and it didn't work.
Okay.
Thanks
I thought we
very
were
much for this.
depressing you.
What?
I thought we were depressing you.
I mean, no more than usual. So thanks for listening to Warped. Please go to an iTunes or wherever you get your podcast to rate, review, and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at Warped Trek, or at Warped the Podcast. I forget what it is on Instagram. And our merch is at lunar_flare on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter at Warped Trek. You can follow me at Host Warped. You can follow Minh to learn about our Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu podcasts at Wet Maynard. You can go to patreon.com/warped to become a patron and get access to bonus material and additional episodes.
Cool. Well, unless anybody has anything they'd like to add, my name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
I'm Drugs.
And I'm Murray.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.